Are you willing to talk to me about what I have to talk to you about?
Is it like, I've only like seen like any of this like on like TikTok or whatever. Like,
It's a reference to a traffic crash. So before I ask you specific questions.
Welcome back to Advocacy Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. Imagine this, you're 19 years old again. Just finished dinner with your friends, driving back to your apartment in Tallahassee, Florida. You feel a bump, but it didn't seem like much. No airbags, no major crunch, just a little crash. You park at home thinking it's no big deal. But here's the problem. The other driver calls 911, says they're hurt, and suddenly what felt like nothing to you becomes a felony hit and run with injury. This case shows us how quickly an ordinary night spirals into a serious criminal charge. The officers even read Miranda rights right at the door. And our biggest question we'll wrestle with today, was this a scared young woman making a mistake, or is she intentionally in violation of the law? With that, let's jump in.
Anybody know what this chick looks like? I probably should have figured it out. Yeah, but wait, what? Could possibly be a man.
349-1046. One unit 600 just needs someone to come back.
Hey.
hey,
How are you doing?
good. How are you?
All right. Can you step out here for a second
Yeah,
if you don't
of course.
mind? Are you the only one here?
Yeah.
Okay.
My couch.
I'm going to close the door. Okay. What's going on? Where you coming from?
I had a dinner with my friends.
Okay. Were you just driving?
Yeah, I was.
You just got back here?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Do you have a license on you? I do not.
I'm going to read you something really quick, okay?
Okay.
Doesn't mean you're in trouble
Okay.
or if you're going to jail or anything, but I have to read you this information before I ask you specific questions. What's your name, by the way?
Kaylee Kidder.
Haley? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's start with me getting some of your biographical information first.
Okay.
What's your birthday?
4306.
4306.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Get it on her for you.
Oh.
Do you have a Florida driver's license?
I do, but I'll have to go find it.
What license is valid for you? Or is that it?
Wait, what do you mean by
Are you
that?
from Florida?
Yeah, I'm from Florida.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that your most Kayeleigh?
Yes.
Sorry for my handwriting.
Brantley?
You're not hurt any, are you?
No.
Okay. I'm going to read you this real quick.
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned if you wish. You cannot afford to hire a lawyer. One will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not make any statements.
Okay.
Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
Having those rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me?
What does that mean? I'm sorry. I've never talked to the police before.
No, you're okay. So I just read you your rights about how you don't have to talk to me without a lawyer
Miranda
present.
rights, right?
Yeah, Miranda
Yeah,
right.
okay, yeah.
So after I read, I have to ask you possibly incriminating questions or questions specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to talk to me about what I have to talk to you about?
Is it like, I've only like seen like any of this like on like TikTok or whatever. Like,
It's a reference to a traffic crash. So before I ask you specific questions about a traffic crash, I have to read you your rights because this is a criminal investigation.
okay.
Do you want to talk to me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Or you in a crash just at the Tennessee?
I don't want to deal with it at all.
Well, there is damage to your Jeep
Really?
to the front right side.
Okay.
Did the person try
there
to?
also there was like previous damage to my front right side. Is it like on the, were you looking at like the bumper?
No, I'm looking at the fender.
The fender?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just like the.
Okay, yeah. There was like, I hit like my first week of driving, I did hit like a trash can, and that did mess up my like right front. But I don't know if it's from that or not.
Did the other person try to wave you down or anything? Did they say? All right, cool. Hang tight with these officers for a second.
He's kind of up there to wait to get more information.
Okay.
Switching with him.
Okay. May been, but like for this incident, like the call we got, whoever it was, he or she who was driving the other car, whether they hit you or not. It's like, that's why we could prevent this confusion.
Yeah.
If you had called as well, instead of just coming back to your apartment thinking,
Yeah.
oh, well,
Yeah.
it'd probably be doing something different.
Okay. Yeah.
But when like there's a traffic crash involved, and especially when there's like somebody's injured, because this person is complaining of injuries, whether they hit you or not, like we don't know who hit who or what
Yeah.
it may have been. Were you the only one in the car?
Yeah, I was. I know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I just like I've never been. I told you that I've never been pulled over, and then that one thing happened, and like nothing happened after that. I tried to call the police, like, and they just like couldn't do anything about it because no one saw anything. Apparently.
It was a hit and run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, not even a hit and run. It was like she hit me. It was like really bad. It was a T-bone, and then like I got out, and I think I like literally blacked out in the moment because I've never like gone through anything like that.
Okay.
And I was like looking at my Jeep. I was like, okay, there's no damage, but there was so much damage, and I just like didn't even see it just because I was like freaked out, you know.
Okay. Is your registration and insurance and driver license and stuff, is it in the house and in the Jeep? Or not? Like maybe driver's license inside, but registration and insurance is in the
My
Jeep?
license is definitely inside, and then my registration's in the Jeep.
Okay, can this officer accompany you to get your license and everything?
Yeah,
And you
of
can meet me
course.
back at the Jeep and we can get your registration and insurance and stuff?
Yeah, of
And we'll
course.
see if we could chop this up to like a learning moment or what we can go from there. I'll let you know here in a second.
It's gonna be a search.
Yeah. All right. Right here's fine. All right. Were you wearing your seatbelt?
Yes, I was.
Can you actually back 660 on a suspicious person for a couple juveniles, not to break the vehicle?
You have no injuries, right?
Yes, sir. I'm good.
Okay. About approximately how fast were you going? Not an exact speed, more of an estimate.
Probably like 10 miles per hour. I was like literally turning into Dixie.
Okay. And you were originally traveling west on Tennessee Street, which means that direction.
Like coming from like this way and
This
this way.
vehicle at a light
I was coming from like
You know where Walmart is on Tennessee Street down the road?
yeah.
You were going that way towards Walmart.
Yes.
My God, Carter. 10-4.
Is your airbags deploy any?
No.
All right. You want to stick this back in your car and then come back over here, talk to me for a second? All right, so here's the thing. What I need you to do, I need you to turn around and put your hands behind your back for me. You are being placed under arrest for hit and run with injury. I'll explain to you some other stuff if you have any questions, so forth, or something like that, okay? And then if you need us to lock your house up or something like that, we can, okay? If you need to call somebody, we'll let you call somebody and go from there. That's not too tight, is it?
Do you want your jewelry off? They'll take it off at the jail. That's the only reason. Do you want me to put it in your room?
Is it like easy to get back?
It'll go be the property, yeah. They're going to
Yeah.
give it back to
They'll
you.
give it back to you. I just don't know the process of it.
I'll keep it on.
And then your phone, your keys, all that stuff can go with you, okay?
Thank you.
Do you want me to lock up your apartment?
Sure. You just,
Hey, real quick, can you search her while you're here?
there's like a little like. It has,
Walk
like,
over this way for me,
It
Kaylee.
has like a lock button on the top. And then they pull that.
Do you have anything on your phone product with me?
No.
The vape can't go, unfortunately.
Okay.
You want us to put that in your vehicle for you?
Whenever you walk in the house, could you just put that on the counter?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what you do.
Okay. It is very humid out here. That's like yucky. All right, do me a favor, Kaylee. Have a seat. Actually, hold on one second.
Okay.
Stand right there for a
Where's
second.
my phone going?
It's going with you.
Okay.
It's just going to be in the back until we get to jail.
Okay, thank you.
Same thing with each of these. Okay. So you want your 2 dates to go inside on the counter?
Yes,
And then lock the
please.
door. You can lock it from the top, outside lock.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
So I just step in?
Yep.
Yeah,
Just be
let me see.
careful.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna buckle you up, and then we will try to get this taken care of as quick as possible. Okay. And if you have any questions for me while we're on the ride there, you feel free to ask me. Okay. And the contact.
I'm supposed to be 21.
Okay. What were you asking me?
I was just like wondering like how this is gonna go. I've never like experienced anything like
Okay,
this.
so you've never been to jail before, correct?
No, I've never even been pulled over
Okay.
or gotten a ticket. I don't know how this goes.
Like I told you earlier at the front door, that gentleman here came to the scene that I was talking to. He's my supervisor.
Okay.
And the sergeant.
Okay.
We were trying to see if we could make it more of a, like I told you, a learning experience on like traffic crashes and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
But again, like I told you, when there are injuries involved, it's different. So that's the line between.
I understand that. I just genuinely, it was such a light little crash that I didn't think anything happened of it, and I apologize for that. I just get, I don't know, and not to make any excuses, I just get freaked out.
I guess. It may have felt that way. Jeeps are tough. I drive
Yeah.
a Jeep.
Yeah.
I got 2004 Jeep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Jeeps are
awesome.
tough. So, and I've been in crashes where people in Jeeps have felt, well, it didn't feel that bad, but other cars
They feel it.
aren't as tough.
Okay,
And
yeah.
This person who was in the crash that either hit you or that you hit, whether, like, whatever it was, like,
Yeah.
the thing is, you have to stay on scene for stuff like that and
Okay.
check to make sure everybody's okay.
Okay.
If you would have just stayed there and just say, hey, are you okay, or then that would have been different, and then we would have been able to
I
resolve.
know. I really should have. I'm just like, I don't know how to handle these situations yet. I don't know. I'm like, it just freaks me out a lot. Which
You say you're how old?
I'm 19.
Okay, guys, so this one's in Tallahassee, and that's in Florida. So that's where our law is going to come from today. Now, always keep in mind that no matter where the video comes from, many times some of these laws are going to be similar in your home state, okay? You can always do a Google search of what the title of these laws are, and you'll pull back what your similar law is where you are. First, leaving the scene of a crash involving injury. This is the big one. This is the reason she got arrested. Okay, this is found at the Florida Statutes 316.027. It says any driver involved in a crash must immediately stop. You have to remain at the scene and fulfill their legal duties, which is to exchange information and potentially render aid. All right, now what's the penalty for something like leaving the scene of a crash where somebody's hurt? Now, in the state of Florida, if the crash involves an injury, leaving the scene is a third-degree felony. That's punishable by the 555, the 5 years in prison, up to 5 years of probation, a fine of $5,000. Now, if it involves serious bodily injury, it goes up to the second-degree felony, and that's 15 years in prison, a fine of up to $10,000. If someone happens to lose their life, it becomes a first-degree felony, carrying up to 30 years in prison. Now, here, it was simply a minor injury. We don't know what the nature of it is, but no one is seriously injured, or they would have said so. Moving up to our next charge, duty to give information and render aid. This is found at the Florida Statutes, section 316.062. It says, drivers must provide their name, address, registration information, and license upon request. And they must also render reasonable assistance to anyone injured. And keep in mind, that can mean a person might have to call 911 and potentially arrange for transport for medical care. This is all the duties after a wreck. Here, Kaylee, she admitted to leaving without checking on the other driver. And that person later reported some injuries, potentially neck and shoulder, something like that, back, what you usually get from a T-bone wreck. And that turned what could have been a traffic citation into a felony arrest. Next, let's move into our evidentiary standards. Now, the evidentiary standards are important daily. Today, we saw much of reasonable suspicion, okay? But let's walk through these 6 levels. We'll start at the lowest, and we'll work our way up to the highest. First, you have mere suspicion. Now, this is simply a hunch. This is when the government or the police don't have any concrete facts. At this level, the government can't do anything to you or to me. Now, the government might pay closer attention. They might just wait and see if any violation is about to happen. Now here, a 911 call of a crash with injury, a description of a Jeep that left the scene. Now all that equals a reason to maybe question Kaylee. A dispatch call, what it does, it calls the police to the scene. All right, so if nothing else, it's just mere suspicion. Now once they get to the scene and start to gather some facts, they may quickly move to our next one, reasonable suspicion. Now at this level, the government and the police have specific facts suggesting that a law has been violated. At this level, there's enough authority to stop a person and question them to see if they're involved. Now once again, you have that 911 call that brings them there. They have the information about there being a wreck. It's verified once they talk to Kaylee that she was in that car. They're quickly moving up to reasonable suspicion and beyond. All right. At this level, the police can detain a person, which means they can stop them and they're not free to leave until the investigation is over. Moving up one more level, probable cause. Now, at this level, the police are going to arrest someone. The government, if it's a different agency, this is when they have authority to come and arrest people. This is when there's enough evidence that a reasonable person would believe a crime has occurred and this person is the one that's involved. Here, Kaylee admits that she was driving the night. There's damage that matches the damage at the wreck. There's a victim that reports injuries. This is where arrests become legal. Moving up one more level, we have preponderance of the evidence. This is where me and you take someone to court or the government brings you to court on a civil matter. Now, if the person that she hit and had injuries want to sue Kaylee, this is the level they're going to be operating at. This level means more likely true than not. And we're talking about a person's claim that they're bringing. In order to win at this level, a person has to have about 51% of the evidence in their favor. Now, in a lawsuit, a victim only needs to show that Kaylee probably left unlawfully. They can prove that with just the Bodycam footage. Also, they can use a police report. When they appeared, they only talked to the victim. The other person was not there. Moving up one more level, clear and convincing evidence. Now, this is used in certain cases that are going to require more receipts, more proof that something actually happened. This is going to be the level when you go to administrative hearing. Kaylee might have to go to administrative hearing about her license from leaving the scene of an accident. This standard is defined as being required when strong evidence is needed and there's a high probability of the truth. Substantially likely to be true. Highly probable. At this level, you need about 75% of the evidence in your favor to win. Now, you also see this in fraud cases, family law cases where you're changing custody. You'll see it in probate cases when people are trying to be guardians over people or they're trying to change how things are already set up. Anytime you want to come back and change an order that's already out there, start thinking that you're going to have to prove with more evidence. There's already been a decision made. You're going to have to bring more evidence to change the decision. All right, looking here, you have multiple witnesses saying Kaylee drove off without checking. All that hits the standard for what this law says. She's going to be in some pretty serious territory about her license suspension. Now, moving up one more level, we have beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, this is the highest standard in the American justice system. This is required for every criminal case. This means there's no other reasonable alternative besides the defendant being guilty of the charges that have been brought. A good example, prosecutors must prove Kaylee willfully failed to stay and help. Now, her explanation of, "I didn't think it was that bad," is exactly what jurors would debate. This is the level where freedom is on the line. All right, next, let's move into the jury perspective. Now, let's step into the shoes of a juror. Let me ask you a few questions. First, let's start with the big questions here. Now, she admitted to leaving the scene of an accident. Now, do you treat that as a crime or as something that's panic-driven, a mistake? Now, if you heard about some injuries like some shoulder and neck pain, enough to elevate the charge to a felony. Now, do you believe the injuries are legit or are they exaggerated after the fact? That's going to be important because without injury, it's just a misdemeanor. And that changes the amount of jail time we might be talking about, or jail versus prison. The woman's 19 years old, fairly new to Tallahassee, never even had a ticket before. Now, is that ignorance or is she trying to avoid responsibility? And how about how the officer framed the situation? He stated that if you stayed, this would have been a ticket. But with the injury, it's different. Let me ask you, do you feel with the injury, does that push you toward conviction or leniency? Now, if you're on this jury, you have to ask yourself the ultimate question. Would you convict Kaylee of felony hit and run, or would you push for a lesser charge like reckless driving? You tell me in the comments below. Guilty or not guilty? And what kind of punishment do you think she's going to face? This is a really new case. I don't know what her last name is. I can't hear if it's Kenner, Kidder, or some alternate of those two. If you think you hear something different, tell me. But otherwise, let's move on to closing this one out. So here's the lesson. In Florida, always stop, always check, and always call. Even if it feels like nothing in your vehicle, the law requires you to make sure everything and everyone is okay. Kaylee thought, well, it didn't feel that bad. That one decision turned what could have been a ticket into a felony arrest. Now, I do want to hear from you all. If you're on this jury, what would your verdict be? Is it felony hit and run, or do you think it's more the lesser offense? Maybe some reckless driving or something like that. Drop your verdict in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and there's some new feature. There's a hype button here. Hit the hype button, then we can get some new students. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy. I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone have a great day. Stay safe out there. Happy Labor Day.
I order you to subscribe to Advocacy Alchemy and return tomorrow, 8:45 a.m. Central, for another lecture. Dismissed.